Be ready for dictation. 5 seconds to go. Start. Sir, I rise to support the bill as it has emerged from the Joint Committee, but while doing so, I wish to make some observations generally and also in respect of certain clauses. The objects of the bill, as originally introduced, have been enumerated like this that a litigant should get a fair trial in accordance with the accepted principles of natural justice. Every effort should be made to expedite the disposal of civil suits and proceedings so that justice may not be delayed. The procedure should not be complicated and should, to the utmost extent possible, ensure fair deal to the poorer sections of the community who do not have the means to engage a pleader to defend their cases. I wonder whether any of these three objectives will be achieved by this bill. Let us not flatter ourselves that this amending bill, as it has emerged from the Joint Committee, will be able to achieve any of these objects. The Code of Civil Procedure is a complicated thing. It was framed in 1908. We have streamlined it here and there. We have removed some hardship here and there and codified some of the legal decisions, and we have removed certain conflicts in decisions. But that does not mean that the litigant is able to get speedy justice or justice at less expenses. Let us be clear about it. I do not blame anybody, but by the civil procedure as it stands, none of these objects can be achieved. I am glad that some of the provisions which have been introduced are really good. They have removed the doubts and conflicts in respect of judicial decisions which had prevailed, each high court giving a different decision about a particular matter that has now been set at rest. For instance, in section 11, there was a conflict of judicial decision whether the decision of a court with limited jurisdiction can operate in a subsequent proceeding between the same parties in a higher court. There was a conflict of decisions, and now it is set at rest by saying that the decision of the lower court with limited jurisdiction will operate in a subsequent suit between the same parties in a court with higher jurisdiction. Secondly, it is also made clear that this principle applies to execution proceedings. I would like to say that it is a good improvement. Sir, about 45 honorable members of this House have participated so far in the debate. I am happy a great importance is being attached by the honorable members of this House to the subject of agriculture and irrigation, which is the very basis of our economy. Last year was really a very difficult year for our country. All of us have experienced the stresses and strains through which the food and agriculture economy passed. The reasons were many, but I think the natural disasters and the energy crisis were the two important contributory factors which added to our difficulty. As a result of this, some of the honorable members of this House very eloquently spoke on a number of issues. They were trying to draw an inference that the agricultural production of the food production is going down in this country because of the failure of the government policy. I would very humbly like to make this submission. Of course, I am not making a claim that everything is all right with government policies. After all, in a vast country like India, there may be weaknesses in administration, in implementation, etc. But my own honest and personal assessment is that this country's direction as far as agriculture and food policies are concerned is very much in the right direction, and that is why we are making a very substantial progress, though during the last 3 years because of the setback on account of some natural calamities, a general impression has been created by interested agencies and perhaps because of there not being a proper understanding by some of our colleagues that something is wrong. I would like to submit a few facts, and the Honorable House may judge whether what I am saying is right or wrong. Unfortunately, in this country, still we depend very much on nature for our crops. I will give some statistics to show how the major crops of ours are still dependent on rains. Now, take wheat, which is a very important crop in our economy. Now, in wheat, the irrigated acreage is 54%, which is the highest. In rice, it is 39%, and in the rest of the crops, it is very low.